What do you know about Jesus?
That He's Lord.
That He's Lord? In what sense? What do you mean He's Lord? Huh? What does that mean? How's it going, brother? They're telling me Jesus is Lord. What does that mean?
Jesus is Lord, yeah, man.
What does that mean, man?
What do you think it means?
Well, I mean, Sarah calls Abraham Lord. So is he Lord?
Justin.
Justin, nice to meet you, man.
You're a Muslim.
Of course, just like Jesus was. Yeah.
Jesus was a Muslim?
Of course. So you said Jesus is Lord. What does that mean?
Wait, what do you mean Jesus is a Muslim?
I mean, there are 6 pre-qualifying conditions that one must meet in order to be a Muslim. And Jesus fulfills the 6 conditions. The one being the worship of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Joseph. Not associating partners with him, that's 1. Believing in the messengers, that's 2. Believing in the angels, that's 3. Believing in the books and the revelations, that's 4. Believing in the day of judgment, that's 5. And believing that everything happens by the will of God, that's 6. Did Jesus believe those things?
Jesus prayed to the Father?
That's right.
Allah Father?
Yeah, so we don't have a problem with the previous prophets calling God Father. It depends on what you mean. So Deuteronomy 32 verse 5 and 6, God says, "You are no longer my children, for you have disobeyed me. Am I not your father who created you?" So according to the Torah, what's a father?
God's hands are outstretched to the black one.
God is a father.
What does that mean according to the Torah? He says, "Am I not your father who created you?" And he says, "You are not my children, for you have disobeyed me." So disobedience means that you're no longer God's child, right?
So when Israel is called...
No, can he answer?
No, we're having a conversation.
Oh, okay, so all of you, that's fine. I could take them all, guys. Yeah, go ahead.
When Israel is called the father, you know...
Israel is called the father?
The father, a son, right?
That's right. Hosea chapter 11, verse 1.
Yeah, so a son in a sense that, you know, it was God that gave birth to the nation of Israel, right?
Right.
And so when we say that Israel is their son, we're saying, you know, God is their father in a sense. He's a provider, protector, and
That's
leader.
right. And if that's what you mean by father, then we could grant that the previous prophets used it. However, if the prophets had called him father, and if he had called them sons, this wouldn't change our theology or contradict our theology in any way, because they would have used it in the correct sense. However, this term is now abrogated, meaning it's no longer used because it has idolatrous association. Why? Because you think that God is an actual father with an actual eternal son. So you believe in 2 gods.